Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to our Saturday podcast of general discussion about everything that has gone on during the week, elaborating more on things like The Mandalorian and Star Trek. But this week was a very special week because not only we get Cyberpunk coming out, the most anticipated game in at least a decade, or since The Witcher 3, probably. But we also got Disney just giving us a great big juicy bukkake of product, which we have discussed in separate videos. We do suggest you go and check them out, but I'm pretty sure you know what's going on already. But Zam wasn't with us there, so it'd be nice to kind of get his thoughts on things, and we can elaborate more and take our time. This might be a very long stream. We also encourage everyone that comes along to engage in the comment sections with us. We can always go back to previous topics that we discussed where you're coming in late and you want to talk about Cyberpunk and we're talking about Star Wars. We can always go back and talk about that. No real rules, no real set anything here. It's anything kind of goes. And that being said, I am Cyberfucked, joined by Zam and of course cousin Cheeto. And Cyberfucked because Cyberpunk is fucked. And that is going to be our opening discussion of the day. And while we're doing that, I think Cousin Cheeto's going to go off and get a burrito or something to eat.
I just have nothing to add to this because I've barely seen anything. So, but I cannot wait. I'll take my phone with me. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about it.
All right. So, just to fill you in, Cyberpunk, the very first mention of this game was way back in 2013. They dropped a couple of teasers here and there, but official production for the game began only 4 years ago. And since then, we've had release dates, pushback, release date, pushback, release date, pushback, delay, because they were ironing out a few glitches and bugs and then make people grind so they can add a 10-inch cock and a faulty vagina and all this kind of stuff into the game. And the game came out. So much hype, and in 2 days, in just 2 days, the hype disappeared and all the fanboys went quiet. Nothing, no videos, no people going crazy, no cosplay things, nothing. Social media is dead on anything positive about Cyberpunk, and it is just memes about bugs, and more bugs, and the game not being exactly what it was advertised, and basically just being a bogged down basic bitch of a looter shooter with some RPG mechanics. Now, me and Zam are very unique here because both of us had no hype for this game. In fact, personally, the more I saw, the less I was impressed and the less I wanted to get this game. And the biggest fuck up that CD Projekt Red did was making the game in first person. That was the biggest faux pas they could have done. Before I carry on talking about anything more, Zam, when you first saw the game, what was your initial reaction to the announcement and then afterwards each more and more being revealed about the game?
Well, what we first saw initially was a gameplay trailer, and what I first felt was this game feels like very much like GTA in the future, which is something a lot of people are saying. But I was a little bit hyped for this. I thought, yeah, all right. I love the cyberpunk genre. We haven't really done it enough in video games, and it'll be nice to see a full-on cyberpunk experience. You know, jacking into things and upgrading yourself and all various other things I couldn't even comprehend at this particular moment. But then we started getting more tidbits, and the first thing that ruined it instantly from the bat was it being an FPS. It's like, what the fuck? I can't wait to upgrade my fucking forearms. They're going to look great. Can't wait to put tattoos on them and shit. You know, I mean, you want to see your character interact with this fucking world, and you're never going to fucking see that in an FPS. Now, I do understand some of the reasonings behind it. For instance, when you look at characters, they're not just standing there like a straight robot. They are interacting with their environment. They might be sitting back on their chairs like this and shit like that, or maybe like this. I understand those little things, and you get more of appreciation of that when you're looking at these people through your character's eyes. But when it comes to some of the gameplay mechanics and stuff like that, you see the shooting. It looks absolutely fucking awful. This guy just unloading. You don't know whether he's hitting or whatever. It looks terrible. And when it comes to interacting in this world, I don't think there's as much as people realize. It's very, very by the books, very basic. It's got some of the GTA elements regarding jobs and stuff like that. But we've seen these sort of elements in various games, whether it be Ubisoft games and their side quests and their side missions. And now with this particular game, nothing impresses me about this game. And then you add all the fucking bugs and the bullshit rendering on the current gen consoles. Oh my God, this game is shit. It is really shit. And the fact that so many people were fellatiating CD Projekt Red, some people we know quite well, praising to this company like they're the fucking second coming of Christ. They could do no wrong. Yeah, well, they can do wrong. All companies do wrong. The bigger you get, the more corporate you get, and then the less you give a fuck about your customers and more about making that fucking green. Yeah, so, and this is a prime example of it. This game is not finished, and they gave it to you all buggy and shit, and there should be more to this game, and it shouldn't be a fucking FPS. Need I go on?
Yeah, I mean, perfectly put. Just to go back on a few things as well. So, again, I was with Sam. I was very hyped for the game until they said it was first person. And now, my biggest pet peeve with every game since PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 generations, which I think are generation 6 and 7 or 7 and 8, whatever, okay, is that the lack of choice in how you view the game. Now, Rockstar, for their gameplay mechanics, are very basic, but at least they give you an option. Do you want to do this in first person? They added that in afterwards for GTA 5. Do you want to watch it in first person? Do you want to play in first person? Do you want to play in third person? Do you want to play a little bit further back? A little bit further back? They gave you that option. Every motherfucking game, except for Red Dead Redemption and GTA, does not have that fucking option. And I am sick and tired of games being they're just so narrow in their offering. There's no more like the golden age of between the late 90s and mid 2000s, where people were experimenting with different things. Nowadays, it's just cut, paste, here you go, generic crap. No real cool mechanics, nothing to experiment with, and all of that. So that was the big faux pas. Another thing with Cyberpunk is I haven't seen anyone like you could jump in this, or the so-called buildings that you could traverse that we were promised, or anything platform-like in this game. All I've seen is you go here, you talk to this person, you have a shootout, you go here, you talk to that person, you drive around in what looks like the stiffest driving ever in a city that looks barren. The mission selections and the jobs that you could do is very limited. The city is very limited in what you could do. It's just garbage. It just looks like just Ubisoft in that it was just bloated hype with nothing to offer. Sam.
With this game is when you mentioned about platforming and stuff, you can get little boosters, for certain things, like you can put boosters on your heels or your ankles to give you better jumping or some shit like that. So you can then.
Can you actually jump in this game?
I saw some traversal, but don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm trying to get to a bigger picture here, because this game is grindy. This game is a grind fest. Yeah, I mean, they picked up some of the baddest habits from other developers who are sinking and have gained a bad reputation because of these bad habits. And grinding is one of them. If you want to get anything, you got to grind the fuck out of everything, and then earn that fucking sweet money. Obviously, you can look at you can go onto YouTube videos and find the best methods of grinding and making cash. But surely you don't want to be doing that. Surely you just want to play the game and do things and, and improve your character without having to fucking waste away doing trivial shit just so you can end up doing this shit, and
It's
I mean, there
padding.
are clever
Right?
moments in the game, and
Yeah.
they've done some certain things. Like if you want to get through a door, you got to make yourself stronger so you can open that fucking door, which opens up more shit to you. But I don't know how deep the things end up being once you open up a particular door to lead you to alternative places. But nevertheless, it's just not deep enough. You're a guy who's half fucking Android, pretty much like everyone else. You want to be able to jack into things, hack into things, influence your environment in various ways. Yeah, and I think they've missed a trick with this. I really do. I mean, if you think about it, they've got elements of games that's already out, like bits of Watch Dogs, GTA, obviously.
Deus Ex.
Maybe Deus Ex, Dishonored. All of these things, and they just mashed it into this shit.
And they didn't execute either of those things well, from what I've seen. I do stand corrected on the jumping and platforming. I've seen God knows how many hours of gameplay, and all I'd personally seen was walking around, chatting to people, running around, and then shooting and driving, and that's it. I never saw a single jump, a single traverse, a single anything. But I stand corrected on that. I do apologize.
It's not a big deal though. Like when you saw this guy doing a jump and he was able to reach these air conditioning ventilators on the side of buildings, he was able to climb on that, and it felt a bit Mirror's edgy. But at the same time, like we never really saw what was the point of that. Like, is there anything special, collectible, which is still basic, same old shit, which I fucking hate in video games nowadays. But nothing. I'm not sure if anything came from that. It's just that it gave him better maneuverability.
Well, I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind if they add options into a game that don't really do anything. That's fine. It's just having the option to climb and jump and traverse should be in every game as a standard. Like in Tomb Raider, when the first ones come out, you could do fucking somersaults and handstands and just shit that added nothing to the game, but was just great fun to do and was just something nice, a great addition, because back then they weren't scared to experiment with things, and it evolved into its own thing down the line with the other Tomb Raider games. So that's where we are with Cyberpunk. I've got
one more thing as well. They once again they give you a game that is incomplete. Like they're still working on the multiplayer portion of this fucking game, which is what pissed me off about Watch Dogs Legions, because that's supposed to be a multiplayer game. Well, I finished playing the single player ages ago. I would like to maybe keep playing this game in other aspects like the multiplayer. Not available until this month, and it's still not available yet. And we're already getting into like the middle of the fucking month. And yeah, like they're giving us a incomplete game, and these terrible habits need to stop, and CD Projekt Red are part of it now. So there's no more like praising this fucking company. The moment they became full on corporate, they sold out instantly. That's how it always goes. Yeah,
they fully arrived into the cut and paste world of every gaming company out there. They did, okay, the laws in Poland are different, so they were getting paid for their overtime, unlike in the USA. But it's still, they shouldn't have announced a release date initially. They should have just said sometime in 2021. But it's because we got the initial release date. I think it was supposed to be early this year. I think it was February or March this year. Then it got pushed back. Then it got pushed back, and then it got pushed back, and then we got this buggy piece of crap. And really, they should never have just announced a release date. The minute you've got too many bugs in your game and it needs a lot of refining, just stay away from trying to mention any kind of release date. And it was a big mistake on their part, because the defenders. Sorry, 1 second. So, because the people that are defending this company are sitting there going, "Oh, well, you were the ones that were pushing for the release date." It was like, well, we're not the ones that initially pushed it back 4 times. So they should have just said, "No, fuck it, 2021," and that's it. Sorry, go on, John.
No, what I'm saying as well is that they did the same sort of mistake like the No Man's Sky people made. Like they showed off a game which looked really amazing initially and left you wondering of what could be, but that game was incomplete. And when they brought it out, 3 or 4 years later, it was just an absolute mess of what we initially saw. And it's now been almost 7 years since we first saw No Man's Sky. That 7 years later, that it looks like a much more better, complete game. But I'm done with it. You know, same with this game. They showed us bits of it, but it wasn't really ready for several years, and that's a long time to wait and remain hyped for something. You know, and then once again they bring it out and give us to us incomplete. Yeah, and they have and then they just add to the marketing bullshit. They mentioned how this game is gold, which means it's complete, even though they say it's gold. Yet they still then delayed it afterwards until this month. You know, and you can understand why they fucking constantly delayed it. This game's a mess. It's a fucking mess. You know, they took a chance and now it's backfiring big time. Fuck this game and fuck everyone who likes it.
Yeah, but the problem is you know they're still going to make excuses for them because eventually they'll fix everything and everyone's going to be like, oh, this game's amazing now. It's like, well, fuck you. I've moved on now since that game's come out. I'm on the Hitman 3 and I'm playing the fucking 2 new Warner Brothers games that are multiplayer in the DC universe, which is orgasmically amazing anticipation for those 2 fucking games.
Especially the Suicide Squad one, more that one.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, the Suicide Squad one. I can't fucking wait for that because it's by
fed up of Gotham.
Well.
I'm fed up of Gotham as well. Like, no more Gotham. Metropolis, thank you. Something different. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, you know.
I agree. I can't wait.
Different characters as well. Like, you know, I haven't really been Deadshot ever, you know. So it'd be good to be someone else for a fucking change.
Yeah.
Well, you can be, who can you be in that game? You can be Harley Quinn, you can be Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and who's the fourth? Is it King Shark?
Is it King Shark or Killer Shark?
No, King Shark.
King Shark. Killer Croc.
Initially,
yeah.
I mean, but there might be other players that you might be able to play as well. That get
yeah, that was just like the initial trailer of that. I mean, I'm really interested. I agree. I think that going to Metropolis, finally we get somewhere different than frickin' Gotham, where we always have to be out at night. You know, like Gotham doesn't ever see the light of day. They should have put in the fictional world. They should have put Gotham up in like northern Norway or something like that, where it's like is it always no.
Well, it's always dark in the winter.
Yeah, like, you know, just someplace where it's always dark, so we can be like, oh, it's been 3 days, and it's like, but the sun's never come up. That's because it's Gotham.
It's like, it's supposed to be like the Chicago, isn't it? Of the DC.
Yeah, but that's only because it's supposed to be rainy and dreary and crappy football
cold and windy. And whilst Metropolis is definitely New York, without a doubt, you know, so.
Okay, well, that's that about Cyberpunk. Obviously, we've moved on to talking about games that are actually worth looking out for and anticipating. I really can't wait for that Suicide Squad game and the Gotham Knights one. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, it's just a shame that the Suicide Squad is like still like a couple of years away. Yeah, and they said 2022, and by the time it probably comes out, it'll be 2024.
Oh shit, yeah, 2022. But the Gotham Knights ones is next year, I think.
Yeah,
that's fine by me.
So I'm always anticipating them not to come out when they say. I just never believe it anymore. But they always gets delayed. Always.
Yeah.
So here's question, because you guys know a lot more about the production side of things than I do about. So I'm this is a legitimate question. I'm pretty ignorant to this. What is the answer to Cyberpunk? Like a game like Cyberpunk, like more staff members working on the game or more time working on the game?
More time.
So you want them to be working on a game for like 7 to 10 years. I mean, by then the technology is obsolete.
No, but they were working on it they actually started production of the game 4 years ago in 2016. They announced it in 2013, and then after all the Witcher 3 stuff happened, they started working on this. It's 4 years. 4 years is usually a good time frame, but this isn't a massive studio. You know, they're not like massive in the terms of like Take-Two's like properties with Rockstar and 2K Games and all this kind of shit. They're not like massive in that regard. So you've got to do two things. You either expand your studio whilst working on a game, but then that costs money, or, you know, you stop trying to fucking work on Witcher 3 and you just put all your eggs into the Cyberpunk basket, or you just spend 6 years working on a fucking game. It's as simple as that. I think if they spent, well, not even 6, if they spent another year on this game, it would have been fine.
I just
But
want to add. Sorry, can I say something?
all I would wait. You want to say something? Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, like like for instance, Ubisoft, they're able to churn out games, religiously because their studio's fucking massive. They've got the entire planet on their fucking payroll. Yeah, and they're able to constantly churn out games religiously. Now, if they took their time, with churning out games, they would come up with better products. So to a degree, they need both. Come to think of it, they need more staff and they need more people if they want to release these games quicker. But regarding the technology, they're making these games on computers which are far superior in technology to the consoles that are going to be playing these fucking things. So they're able to maybe bring specs down when it comes to transferring shit onto a console anyway. But and I'm just saying that in a very layman way, regarding these particular things. But they do need to put more. No, I understand, but
No, I agree. I don't understand that.
No, but I'll go once again. No Man's Sky was like a studio of 8 people. That's why it took so fucking long for them to do anything. It's understandable, yeah. But they, a good 5 years is a good portion of time, for to make a game like Cyberpunk, and then just get more, maybe get other studios involved, get more people involved. If you're making something this fantastic, then you've got to put everything into it and make sure it comes out polished. And I understand the time is an issue, but get that balance right. Get more people involved then, and don't do what, like I said, do what Ubisoft is doing. If Ubisoft just made one of these games with every 5 years instead of every year, my God, they would be coming out with some amazing shit. It's just crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering about like the technology. Like when does, like if you're working on a game for 6 years, when does the technology that you're working with become like, it would kind of be like they have to keep up with the progression.
I mean, the systems and the products that they're using update along with production anyway. So if something's taking ages, they've got a great big bloody lump on my head out of nowhere for some reason. I don't know if you can see it, probably not.
No.
But like the PCs and the software and all the tech, it upgrades as they go along. So if they're 6 years into production, they'll probably just get new computers and just kind of carry on, because consoles are always generations behind PCs anyway, and they are using the more high-end stuff to port. So that's basically that's why it's never an issue. But yeah, better time management should have been spent on this game. Right, let's move on because we are 23 minutes in and I'm still talking about this piece of shit. Disney had their Investor Day 2020 and Jesus wept. FYI, I still haven't caught up on everything because it was just too much information to take in. But we got a load of Marvel properties dumped on us and a load of Star Wars stuff dumped on us, and another Indiana Jones film coming, which nobody cared about until I saw that the director was James Mangold, who did great with the Logan film and a couple of other good ones as well. So now my excitement is like, oh, they're going to kill Indy off. This is going to be great. We also got
going off an 8-year-old man. Great.
Yeah. Just having shot by a fucking Nazi. Screw it.
Yeah. Just some random Nazi just gets him in the back.
Yeah, that's it. You're dead now, Puff. And we got like a couple of Disney animations that got announced. I don't care. The most important thing was It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia got renewed for 4 more seasons, which it's already now the longest running live action sitcom in US history. And this will definitely push it over the edge. I don't think it'll be anytime soon before something matches it. I mean, there is Trailer Park Boys in Canada, but that had a huge 7-year break in between season 7 and season 8, and a couple of shitty films in between. But for the US, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, this little FX show out of nowhere, is now been running it's coming up to its 15th season and still going strong. And it's quite possibly one of the best things ever made. So I'm happy for that. We got a Buzz Lightyear prequel coming, which is more set in the world of Buzz Lightyear as opposed to the toy world. And a lot of people aren't happy about Chris Evans voicing Buzz Lightyear instead of Tim Allen, which I don't really give a shit. And we've got a bunch of other stuff. Again, I can't keep up with what else is going on. But anyway, let's go with Marvel stuff. So we got what I thought was a series for Nick Fury. It's apparently a film now called Secret Invasion.
Really?
Apparently so.
Hmm.
So it's the film Secret Invasion.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a series.
So did I. Let me just double check. But when I was watching Mr. Sunday Movies, he said it was going to be. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Secret Invasion.
Show or movie? I watched the whole thing. No, it's a television series.
So it's a series. God damn it, Mr. Sunday Movies. He confused me. I watched the stream earlier. Sorry. So yeah, we'll get a Secret Invasion series with Nick Fury and the Skrulls. We're also getting.
I was about to say, I actually think it would be better as a series than it would be as a movie.
Most definitely. Most definitely. We got announcements for Ironheart. Let me just go get my notes. Sorry, I rushed in and I didn't get.
By the way, Zam, while you're getting your notes, Zam has not had a chance to discuss any of this with us. So, I mean, Zam, jump in whenever, because me and Ginge have talked this shit to death.
Oh yeah, right. Once I announce everything.
Let me first of all let me go. What's close to my heart? Indiana Jones. I'm probably the biggest fanboy of all three of us when it comes to that. This fifth movie, will it have Harrison Ford?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not happy. I don't want this. Is not. I don't give a fuck about it. It's gonna be bollocks. I mean, seriously, the guy is knocking 80 years fucking old. How is this going to be a good film? Honestly, I don't give a fuck who the director is. You know, you could fucking have anybody in there. You could have the guy who does the John Wick movies in there. You know, I don't know how this is going to be good. How is this going to be plausible? You know, it was okay seeing an indie in his 60s. Yeah, you know,
no, it wasn't. It wasn't even.
No. Sorry, no. I'll take it. I'll take that back. It was almost plausible because he was always a fighting man. You know, he was a fit man. These are not today's Americans, mate. You know, back then, yeah, you guys were always running around and shit, being an archaeologist and stuff. You can understand that he would always be in good shape, being an ex-military man as well by then in Indy 4. But he's 80 now, for fuck's sake. He's 80 now. This is ridiculous. He can still be swinging around and shit and rolling around and fighting fucking God knows what. This is ridiculous. It's the most stupidest idea. Recast, man. Recast. There's nothing wrong in having a different Indiana Jones. We've had different Indiana Jones, young ones as well as superiorly old ones. Yeah, we don't need Harrison Ford back. Put somebody else in the fedora, and let's move on from fucking Harrison Ford.
Let me pose an equation. So what if they did recast, but then they made Harrison Ford the dad, like Sean Connery was? I don't know. Okay,
that would be the most stupidest thing, and it would be so distracting. Yeah, it'd be so distracting to have that.
They're both like his son in the end.
Yeah, fuck him, man. Honestly,
I know.
His name was Mutt, but his name was really Henry as well, Henry Jones Jr. the third, and yeah, we don't want him back. I don't want him back. I didn't think he was that bad in the fourth film, but at the same time, the swinging with the monkeys is like I can't believe what I'm watching here. You know, it's just like this is not gonna happen. Like, oh my god, this is just the most stupidest idea ever, and I'll watch it. Of course, I'll watch it. Yeah, you know, I'll be stupid not to. I want to prove it wrong. Sorry.
I haven't watched all of Indy 4 right up until the fridge explodes. That's why I gave up. Like, it explodes and he's in the fridge. That's when I gave up.
Dude, that was like the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, "Fuck this shit! I can't be bothered," and I left it.
Even the brawls with the Russians.
Oh, man, it goes downhill from there.
No. It's not for me. For me, it was the moment he starts picking up all these fucking. He uses he throws the magnetic shit in the air to find. Oh god, I was like, I'm done. I'm absolutely done already. It's like I can't believe he's throwing shit in the air and we're following it.
That's why we need a good Uncharted movie, because this is going to be the new Indiana Jones if it's done well.
Yeah, well, they tried the Tomb Raider film again.
I personally, I don't mind the recast because I like the 1930s settings.
So you still want it in the 1930s?
I love that era, man. I love that era because it's just a great era. I want it to still be a period film. Like in the years. I don't want it to be set today. It just feels less plausible that some of these discoveries, like in Uncharted 4, they found an island with pirate shit all over it. And this pirate shit is just there's sunlight beaming on this shit. This shit would be discovered, but it's out in the open on a fucking island. And how has it not been discovered yet?
All you need these days is just a fucking drone. Just send in a drone.
Yeah. So it needs to be set in those periods. Yeah, because anything if they do,
I don't disagree. I think you're right. I think it should be a period piece.
Yeah.
Just like I kind of feel like James Bond should always be a period piece.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they rebooted Indiana Jones now, it'll be modern era and it'll be black because it's the norm now.
Indiana Jones won't be black.
Oh, listen, mate. They'll fucking that's the Hollywood creed now. Make it black.
I heard they're doing that with Batman.
Too lazy to create brand new.
They did. That's a comic book thing. They're making Lucius. Spoiler alert! For anyone who reads the comics, they're making Lucius Fox's son. I can't remember.
Fox.
Yeah, Timothy Fox.
Oh, Batwing himself.
Yeah, Batwing himself is going to be Batman now.
Yeah,
so this will last for 12 issues, and then they'll go back to Bruce.
I have no problem. I have no problem with this. I have no problem with this. Is being a successor, but being if Black Bruce Wayne was black initially, I think okay, that's a bit weird. I'll probably get used to it after a while.
You must be joking. What's going on here?
How I see it.
The most racist stream.
No, it's no different to making someone, for instance, like Blade, if he was white, but then again he was white in those Marvel cartoons back in the day, the 90s ones, where he would guest star in with like Spider-Man and shit.
He was not white.
He was not white.
Mate, I will show you a fucking picture of White Blade, and this will shut you both up for fucking once. I'm done with this shit. I've had this argument too many times. You know what I mean? I'll show you a fucking picture of White Blade. Anyone knows that there's a white fucking Blade out there, and he was on that. He was on that Spider-Man shit back in the 90s.
Oh,
yeah.
You missed it. If it's true, I'm sure it's true. Why would you say it otherwise?
I've seen it with my own
right now, and he is a light-skinned black dude.
No, there's so many images of him being a black dude. There's without a doubt, but there is in that cartoon. But I've seen it with my own two fucking eyes several times when I was a kid. White.
No, maybe they retconned it. That's shitty if they did that though. Fucking hell, Blade's black. You don't fucking change him. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
They've
done that. They made Johnny Storm black. It didn't bother me. You know what I mean? Didn't bother me.
That was just stupid. I mean, that whole film just bothered me anyway.
Don't
change from the original. For main characters, don't change from the original source. I fucking hate when they do that. I'm too autistic.
All right, so what are we talking about here? Hold on. So, I mean, we talking about this one? I mean, I guess.
We went to like racing and shit like that, but after Indiana Jones being black. But I was initially talking about Indy. I think I've given my spiel. Not happy with this. I will watch it obviously, and I really hope I'm proven wrong.
Yeah, this Blade's not white, man. He's just mixed race. I thought so. I thought it was going crazy for a second.
Yeah, that dude. Look. Did he ever? That dude. Yeah,
he's mixed race.
Look at them. Look at the far right picture. He's so fucking white that he's almost gone albino.
That's just shading, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, I get it. For the 90s, I mean, yeah, they made him light skinned, so because they didn't want to have some like if you look at the more recent one, hold on, where I saw a picture, or like right here, like, I mean, he's a bit darker. So I mean, I can see where you're coming at, where he kind of looks like
doesn't have the features of a black person, regardless of him being a little bit tanned. Yeah. He is definitely either regarding tan people, you can get tanned white people. You see him all the fucking time in America. Look at Randy Orton, he's fucking orange from top to bottom. You know what I mean?
I'm not arguing about it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, I can see where like the confusion comes in at. I mean,
yeah.
So sometimes when they do, I've had Jim Gordon now. He's black. And
I don't
doesn't bother me.
I don't have a problem as long as they pick a good actor. That's what I want. Like I don't care if they're white, black.
Yeah, someone like Jim Gordon, I'm not that fucking fussed about. But that results in Batgirl being black as well. That's what's going to happen and all this kind of shit. But listen. I'm very much. I just like things that if it's how it's portrayed in a book or a comic book, that's how I want to see it on the screen. I don't. Changes just annoy me. I'd be just as pissed off if they took an Asian character like they almost did with the Hellboy remake and just put a white guy on there, which is what they nearly did with the Hellboy, the remake or the sequel that came out recently. And the actor.
What they do instead, though, Ginge, what they do instead, though, Ginge, is they just make the guy white anyway, regardless of changing them from Asian to white. So, for instance, we'll have the Last Samurai, we'll make him fucking white. We'll have fucking Iron Fist, we'll fucking make him white. They just make him white anyway, mate. You know what I mean? Regardless.
Iron Fist was always a white dude.
Iron Fist was always white.
No, but no, I know that. But the point is, we're talking about the origins of his powers and shit like that. But we'll just throw a white dude in for this. You know what I mean? We'll make it white. We won't make it somebody from that part of the world. But we want somebody to represent us, so to speak. So we'll make him white. So that's how it is when it came to his origins.
Well,
creating this
that's
character.
how it was back then, and that's the characters we've grown up with and used to. If you do it these days, then it's a little bit ignorant to do so. But back then,
agree.
that was the norm. That's what we're used to, and just stick with that. If you want to act, so for example, Shang-Chi's a nobody character in the comic books, but they're making a film about him because they want to bring in an Asian character in an Asian market. Absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. That's the right way to go about it. So yeah, go on.
And I mean, if you think about it, okay, so back in the 60s and 70s when all this stuff was starting, we didn't have the internet. Like in comic books, it was primarily Marvel Comics was primarily an American based. So they did want to make it relatable. And back then the diversity thing wasn't much of an issue, much to our American ignorance. I mean, I know that comic books did go all over the world, but I'm just saying like primarily it was an American based. And I mean, they weren't worried about diversity. So like, well, we'll just make Iron Fist an Asian lore, but he's a white dude. Now, what they're doing with Shang-Chi, I agree with. They're taking a originally Asian character and giving him the spotlight. Because if there were like, well, we're just going to make an Iron Fist movie now, I'd kind of be like, all right. Like, even if he didn't have the show, I'd kind of be like, all right, well, there's another white dude doing another foreign culture. And I like what they're doing with Shang-Chi is they're, and they're doing it well because now they're doing it in reverse. They're doing like, okay, Shang-Chi's kind of a D-list character, but now we're going to bring him into the forefront and we're going to make him, popular, which is okay because he's an originally Asian character that they're going to make popular. And then watch, he's probably, if the movie's good, he's going to be more popular in the comics than even Iron Fist. And Iron Fist is going to become a secondary to Shang-Chi.
Yeah, more
Iron Fist has been ruined. Iron Fist has been ruined. Shang-Chi, your only hope when it comes to a martial art character now. Captain America is retired.
Yeah. So okay, so onwards with more.
We did have a comment. I put it up but Zam was on his rant. I don't. Is he talking Star Trek? Like put Saru in as Indy. He is a legend.
Leg end.
He's a legend.
He's being British, I guess.
Oh,
anyway, he's British humor.
It does not compare.
British humor. It's better said verbally than it is typed. All right. Yeah. So, but yeah. This is what else have we got on the smorgasbord?
Okay, so let's go for the Marvel list now that we've done Indiana Jones. That was lovely, actually. Right. So we've got the Secret Invasion series. We've got Riri as fucking Ironheart. I still can't believe they're going ahead with this.
Something I thought after that are you just running through the list and we're going to go back and talk about them? Or
yeah, let me just go through the list.
Okay,
Shut the fuck up. All right, and we have Marvel Studios Armor Wars, obviously Fantastic Four, uh, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, of course, because James Gunn's an egomaniac. Iron Groot shorts, whatever. Moon Knight logo popped up, but we ain't seen much or heard much about it unless somebody else has. Then obviously the Shang-Chi, She-Hulk, Hawkeye. We've seen leaked footage, not footage, pictures. Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Quantumania.
Loki dropped a trailer, very interesting. Miss Marvel, Falcon and Winter Soldier dropped another trailer, as did WandaVision. And of course, now we know that, which all of us guessed correctly at the time. Well, in one of our groups anyway, that Christian Bale is going to play Gore the Butcher in Thor: Love and Thunder. So going back on that, your thoughts on Kazuchita on the Ironheart Riri thing, or whatever it was you wanted to say?
I wonder, is because they're doing also the Armor Wars show. I wonder if they're doing. I wonder if Iron Lad is like that one with the one kid that was in Iron Man 3. I wonder if he's going to be in Ironheart or Armor Wars or both, or like it just makes me wonder if they're doing Iron Lad at all, because they didn't make any mention of it. And I mean, you figure if they were going to use him as Iron Lad, they would, and they already casted Riri Williams. Wouldn't they have casted him if they were doing Iron Lad?
But wasn't Iron Lad in the comic book? I mean, I might tweak it here, but Iron Lad in the comic book just turned out to be Kang the Conqueror in disguise.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Well, he is. I mean, Kang the Conqueror is coming in Ant-Man. Oh, that was also announced, which I think we all knew already.
Yeah, he's in Quantumania.
Yeah, so Kang which honestly, I don't know if I like that, because
no, I don't.
I mean, if Quantumania sounds like it's an adventure into the quantum realm, and it's just like King the Conqueror is a time traveler. I understand they had to use the quantum realm to time travel, but it's like, why is King what is he, just like, is he ruling over the quantum realm? Like, I don't know. I'm not even getting into that.
Yeah.
Maybe that kid could be Kang. Like maybe Kang. I mean, like that kid's getting close to being a man now, and he looks like he could play the part. And maybe Kang, goes into his body, like takes over his body, and he becomes Kang the Conqueror.
Okay,
no,
King was
dude, he's already been cast.
Oh, fair enough. Fuck it then.
Played by a black actor, which for someone who's got that kind of.
Oh yes, I remember. Yeah, I saw that a while back. Actually, you're right. Yeah.
As I said, well, he was cast as the villain in Ant-Man, and everyone was speculating it was Kang, but I think it's official now.
Yeah, it's official now that Kang is.
What's the Ant-Man film called again?
Quantumania.
And Ant-Man, the Wasp, and the Hulk.
Do you think it's going to have an overall part to play regarding the the multiverse of madness and all that shit? When it comes to the quantum realm.
No, it's going to set up Casey Lang to be put into the Young Avengers. That's what it's going to.
They're going hardcore on this Young Avengers. I think. I mean, it's going to be whether Young Avengers is either going to be a big Disney Plus movie event, or it's going to be a big movie on the big screen. It depends on over the next 2 or 3 years where theaters go. Waiting.
I mean, that the overall consensus we got from all the dump that they did was that everything's gearing towards a kind of Young Avengers thing. I think with Riri Ironheart, it might tie into Armor Wars. Maybe she shows up in that. Armor Wars, initially, I was like, why are they doing it now? But I actually think it's actually a good thing, because now Stark is gone. His technology is now out there, and it falls into the wrong hands. And, Rhodey's now the one that has to bring it all back and all that. So it actually could work better this way than my initially desire of Iron Man 2 and possibly 3 being about Armor Wars.
Well, and honestly, I mean, I also feel, and I agree with Zam. I feel like they really need to put Rhodey in the forefront of the Avengers, because he's the most. I mean, Zam's right. He's the most experienced Avenger outside of
Thor
left.
And Thor's going to do anything.
Thor and Hulk.
Yeah, but Thor and Hulk. Yeah, but they're not. I really don't feel like they're going to be in the forefront anymore. Like, I think the Hulk is going to be in She-Hulk, but I really don't think they're going to be like frontline Avengers anymore. I think Thor's going to be doing his own thing.
Hulk went full on superhero once Banner and Hulk combined. He became a superhero. He was saving people and shit. I mean, I'm surprised.
But he got injured, and I mean he'll probably heal. But I feel like the way they're going is that they're kind of putting Thor and Hulk in the background more.
Well, Thor's eventually gone because Chris Hemsworth is, he's done after Love and Thunder and Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which he'll might be passing on the torch. Then will be Jane, which
I think is terrible because Natalie Portman I don't see her stay. Like, why are they putting their eggs in that basket? Like,
she's a bit volatile.
Yeah, with her, I would pass the hammer on to Sif. Truth be told,
I think. By the way, regarding Chris Hemsworth, he might be done, but I don't think this will be the last we'll see of him as Thor. Guaranteed. I can see him aging into the role, playing more of an Anthony Hopkins type character in the future. I think we'll see him back as Thor. For sure.
I mean, never say never.
Sure.
Yeah.
This might be the last solo Thor movie, but I see Thor showing up in multiple, like either cameos or whatever's for years to come. But yeah,
as long as they film it in Australia, then you'll get Hemsworth for sure.
Yeah,
as I said before, like actors should be really grateful that they are connected to a character that is beloved worldwide, and you are resembling that character. You never want to lose that. James D. Kirk is always going to be William Shatner. Patrick is always going to be not only Professor X, but fucking Jean-Luc Picard. You don't want to lose who you are to the world, to everyone, and I really hope he does come back. He's Thor. You don't want anybody else to be Thor. I mean, that particular one.
Now I know this changes, but Chris Hemsworth has said that he will keep playing the character as long as he's allowed. He didn't say as long as he can. He said as long as he's allowed. So that means that as long as they keep coming to him with good stuff, he will keep doing it. But it's got to be good stuff. If they come to him with a garbage script, he's not going to be like, "Oh yeah, it's Thor, so I'm going to do it."
Yeah.
What about
them? Go ahead.
What about what's his face? The actor who plays Hulk, his name just escapes me now. Yeah. Is he still like in playing in the long game with his character? I mean, even Don Cheadle himself, he's in his mid-50s. I mean, how long's he got left?
Yeah, he's not hinted at any kind of retirement or anything. Yeah, he's not hinted at displeasure or anything. I mean, so
these are the meal tickets. They don't want to. You don't want to get off this, man. These are the proper meal tickets. I know these guys will always get work in other acting jobs, but they'll have this for sure.
Because you do these big blockbusters, you get your pay, and then you can go and do your indie films for like the minimum SAG pay, and just have fun with it. That's what a lot of these actors do. That's why they take on the kind of big blockbuster roles. They don't care that they flop or whatever. They get a nice fat pay and nice residuals and royalties from all of that. Not royalties, but residuals and things like that. And they go off and do projects that they love doing. That's why Johnny Depp ended up doing all those Pirate of the Caribbean films without his crazy spending. But then he could just go off and do all those other shitty, god-awful indie films that he wanted to do. And that's where you'll see a lot of them pop up.
Sorry, indie independent. Sorry, my bad.
Not Indiana Jones films.
Yeah.
But that's why you see a lot of these actors, and you're like, how the fuck did they get this actor in this film? What was their budget? But a lot of the actors are just like, just pay me the SAG minimum, and I'll do your film because I like the script, kind of thing. I know Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp and a couple of others have done.
Chris Evans is another one that does
Chris
that.
Evans, yeah.
I don't think Robert Downey is. I think Robert Downey's like. I think he goes for the big paychecks. Like look at Doolittle. That should have been like a SAG minimum, and like he was, like they pushed that like it was going to be like a big blockbuster movie, and like we were all like,
shit.
Pandemic aside, it's like, oh, this is not going to end well for their box.
Blockbuster. I mean, it's not shit. There's loads of fucking absolute trash, tier level 1 shit fucking blockbusters out there, man. So. And that one was no different, and it just goes to show that when you're not on this gravy train of the MCU, and when you're off it, doesn't matter what you fucking do. People want to see you in this. Chris Hemsworth has done loads of stuff outside the MCU, loads of stuff. Nothing is as popular as this. He's done fucking Men in Black. He's done all types of fucking films. This is where it is at for him.
Well, Extraction went down really, really well because they're making a sequel to that.
It is good, but this is still where it's at for him.
Yeah. But you got to look at it from an actor's point of view. You don't want to just be typecast into that role. You want to, as an actor, you want your range. You want to expand. You want to do different things.
Those things are gone now. Like you would see someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you would not necessarily think of the Terminator. You would see the variety of different action films he fucking did. He wasn't just on board on one particular thing. He did have a couple of franchises.
That's why Chris Hemsworth doesn't just want to be known as fucking Thor.
No, I do. And
also, Arnold,
I'm just saying those things are gone now because he has been trying doing other things, and it's just not working out for him.
But that's a different era. You also have to look at the era because now we have streaming. We're at our fingertips. We can get all these indie films. Whereas back when Arnold was super popular, you had to go to like Blockbuster or Roadrunner or something like that,
Or the cinema.
Or the cinema to see these things. And it's like nowadays, it's just like was Roadrunner a rental place? I don't remember. I just said that, and I'm like, I think that
sounds like an American place. We don't have Roadrunner here.
An American thing. Over here, we just had a lot of independent shops and then Blockbuster Video.
You go to a corner shop and get a fucking video rental, man.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have these things like right at your fingertips like back then. So it's like, Arnold probably did do some indie stuff that we don't. Well, I mean, we could look on IMDb, but it was a different era back then.
Hercules in New York.
He's done a lot of stuff these days. He's done a lot of indie stuff these days.
Yeah. For
the SAG minimum, just for fun. There's like this one where a load of hitmen are hunting him, and he just takes them all out. Brilliant.
Gunter?
Yeah, something like that. Where is Gunter or something like that, or just Gunter? Yeah. And that was just like a no-budget film. But I think it ties up, and with streaming as well, there's a lot more like indie films being made nowadays. So a lot of these actors pop up into it. I mean, Extraction is prime example. I think he only did, actually, to be fair, I think Hemsworth did it because his stunt guy who plays it, does the stunts for Thor, was the director of the Extraction film, and I think that's why he kind of signed up onto it.
Yeah, he was also involved in the John Wick movies.
That's right, yeah. And great kind of stuff. But I mean, you're never going to see like Chris Hemsworth play like, the kind of brooding love interest. It's always going to be like action flicks and shit.
I can't wait to see
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I was about to say Hulk Hogan. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be fascinating. But
they're going to do the racist stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to be pissed.
Man, if they don't,
we need a handlebar mustache.
Huh?
Oh, we need the handlebar mustache on Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That's good. That's a guarantee. But what concerns me the most is that Hulk Hogan is still alive. So they're gonna be. It's gonna be more of a homage to Hulk Hogan, which I really hope it isn't, or is it gonna be warts and all? And usually you get warts and all.
It'll probably be a homage.
Yeah, it was when they did
warts and all because he was a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit now, man. Yes.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. The only thing I applaud Hogan for doing, and I was so happy when it happened, was when he went after Gorka. That this fucking online
Gorka.
Yeah, this online news like that. Just thought it had some kind of divine right to hack into people's messages and listen in on people's private lives just for the general interest. And they got sued by Hogan after all the leaked footage of him banging his friend's missus. He got funded by a billionaire who was outed by Gorka for being gay, even though it was none of their business to out him, and for no real reason. They just outed him for the clicks, and they got sued into oblivion, and they went out of business. And that, to me, is probably the greatest thing that Hogan's ever done.
But then you got the thing with his son as well, when his son had that car crash, and it was coming up for him and said it was God's will or something. He made it all religious and said that probably is how what God wanted or some shit like that. That this kid ends up in a fucking wheelchair, having to be fed. I mean, that's not Hulk Hogan's fault, by the way. It was Nick Hogan who did that. The cover up was fucking disgraceful, man. And it's just so like I'm sure that will be in the movie. By the way,
that'll probably be there. The steroid scandal better be in there.
Yeah,
I was to say, if Chris Hemsworth is in it, I mean, are they doing like 80s Hogan, like early 90s Hogan, or is it like then all the way up? current.
I hope it is. I don't
I
want a
hope
period
it
piece.
Will they include how he fucked up TNA wrestling as well?
Well, that was just an evening discussion. They're like, how are we going to fuck up TNA? Well, let's just let Hogan make some decisions. And
Bring the nasty boys
That's it. Yeah.
Bring the nasty boys in, for fuck's sake.
God,
I knew it was over after that.
All right, back on track. We went off on a huge ass tangent, which is great.
No rules.
So, going back to Ant-Man again, I feel like that film will have be a pivotal film when it comes to the overall narrative of this particular phase and where it might be directing. You don't think so?
No, Peyton Reed is directing it. It's just going to be a throwaway film, and Kang will be wasted.
Well, I think they might lay the seeds with Kang to come back, but I agree the film itself. I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp. I mean, I'm not saying it was a great movie by any stretch. It's not like a masterpiece in the cinematic universe.
Nice shit.
I enjoyed it. It was fun to see Wasp kick ass and she's in her, and she's in her Wasp outfit, and I enjoyed a lot of it. As I said, but I took it for what it was. I did not think it was going. I mean, especially coming up between Infinity War and Endgame, and it takes place before Infinity War. I was like, it's going to be a little romp with Ant-Man and Wasp. We're going to see Wasp finally be able to do her thing, which honestly I was excited for, because I want her to be like a mainstay, a core Avengers member at this point. She always has been.
She was one of the leader of the Avengers in the comics.
Yeah, her and it. Well, not these two versions, but like the character of Wasp and Ant-Man are, and that's where I want them. I want them in that core 6 member, the new Avengers.
This is why I feel like this will be a more significant film, because people like Doctor Strange and Ant-Man and the Wasp are the more like recognized characters now in the MCU. They're taking over from
I mean, not to be a shitter on your dreams, but the most significant.
It's not dreams. It's just what I'm envisioning.
Doctor Strange 2.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. But I'm just saying that these are like cornerstone characters now. These are the like Doctor Strange and to a degree Ant-Man and the Wasp are like. I'm not saying that they're totally replacing Captain America and Tony Stark, but someone needs to fill in those shoes as a mainstay. Recognized. Yeah, he did. So
idea. That saved everyone.
So I feel there's gonna be more focus on this one in this time. I mean, that's what I'm envisioning. It'll be nice. If it isn't, fine, fair enough. I mean, the second one was a pile of shit, so I haven't got much hope with the third one being any better. But at the same time, if they should use this character better, because he's a top tier Avenger now.
Yeah. Sadly, they'll probably just throw it away. But I agree, it should be better used. Especially now that they kind of, pissing around with the quantum realm and they know how to use it properly and they have all the technology in place for time jumping. It could be very interestingly done, but wait and see, Loki looks interesting. What were your thoughts on that, Zam? We've already talked about it.
I'm not what I was expecting, to tell you the truth. I expected him to be like, once he got the Tesseract, I expected him to be jumping all over the fucking place, causing shit in this alternative timeline. But that wasn't what it was. And it ended up being a little bit Umbrella Academy with his Time Bureau. And he seemed to be caught, even though he escaped, he seems to have been caught again, which is a bit weird. And I don't know, you just don't know what's going on here with any of it. What's the point of it? Is it some sort of giant escape he's trying to do? Is he trying to start a new faction? There wasn't much given away, which is good. So hopefully these things will be discovered as the show.
It was good that they didn't give too much away, and it was a bit unexpected.
Owen Wilson looked interesting. Like, I've never seen Owen Wilson like that. Was the least Owen Wilson I've seen him for a while. What I mean? Usually there's a lot of Owen Wilson-y about him. Like
General Ross.
He was channeling his what's the actor who plays Watson on Sherlock? Why can't I remember his name? Martin Freeman. He was I felt like, honestly, like when I first started watching it was on my phone when I first started watching it. So I'm like, is that Martin Freeman? I'm like, no, but it did kind of feel a little bit like him at first. And then I could see the Owen Wilson come out when he was like, talkie.
Yeah, that bit. Yeah, I was trying to think. What did he say? We went talkie. Yeah, that's Owen Wilson, 100%. But other than that, he seemed to be playing it quite straight, which was interesting. And it's going to be. I don't know what to add to it, but it wasn't what I expected, which is good and bad, I guess. But at the same time, let's just hope it's not a snooze fest and we see Loki get up to a lot of shit. Remember, this is still the evil Loki. He's not the Loki who died tried to save Thor at the beginning of Infinity Wars. Mm-hmm. This is a different Loki. This is the older Loki. This is Loki who hasn't learned a lesson, doesn't realize his mum's dead or anything like that. No remorse, nothing. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him.
Yep. Okay. We haven't really had much else, so I won't bother delving into things like She-Hulk, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel. We got a small glimpse of, but whatever. Anything to say on Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I'm a big No, I had a problem with it. I wanted to see more of the Shield. Like, I didn't see Falcon. I mean, it's good that he's got an upgrade with his suit, and he looks more like the Vulture, the original Vulture from Spider-Man. But
that vibe.
But don't get me wrong, in the comics his suit's like that anyway. But at the same time, it would be nice to see a bit more of the Shield in action. I really, but yeah, it looked really great. Yeah, it looked really great.
Yeah, sorry,
it looked really.
It was like the first couple of episodes.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm not so sure what path it's going down, but it looks really interesting. And we didn't get to see too much of Agent America. What the fuck is Secret Agent? What the fuck is his name?
He wasn't even. Agent. I don't even think he was in that trailer.
We saw his back.
Yeah, this one was focused on Bucky and Sam, completely.
But nevertheless, I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, this is the best we're going to get when it comes to post Endgame stuff, and I want to know what this universe is like. Sorry, we had Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong, we had Spider-Man, which felt like an epilogue to Endgame, the entire fucking film. But this feels like what's going on now with this world? What's happening and all that shit? And I want to see it, and I can't wait for it because it's been over a year. I'm dying for some Marvel shit.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a little bit, finally, Beatlemaniacs. Well, at the moment, we're just going to the Marvel dumpster fire. Well, it's not really a dumpster fire. The Marvel dump. There's a lot of stuff dumped.
Yeah, we already talked about the dumpster fire, Cyberpunk. Already.
That's right. We already talked about that fucking dumpster fire. WandaVision, Sam.
I'm just waiting for it now. I got no more opinions to give on it. It looks like it's going to be. It's not going to be an action-packed series. It's definitely going to be a mind fuck. Yeah. And I think there's going to be a lot of foreshadowing, I feel, in some of the dialogue, and you're going to have to keep an eye out for or an ear out for that. It's going to be interesting. I'm actually looking forward to a different way of watching the superheroes. Sometimes it's not all about them having to unleash their powers at some point every episode. It's just about them being people and what's happening in the mind of Wanda.
Yeah, Cheeto.
Is Zam cutting out for you? Or
yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not my.
I'm sorry.
That happens.
Yeah. No, but with the WandaVision thing, they have said that I think it's 6 episodes, and the first 3 episodes are going to be that trip through. Yeah, I know. That first 3 episodes is going to be so is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I thought that was 12 episodes.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier? I thought it was 6. I'll look.
Oh, no, you're right. Sorry, Cassian Andor is 12 episodes.
Yeah. But they're saying that the first 3 episodes of WandaVision is their time jump, where they go from the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, or 60s, 70s, and 80s, or whatever. Every episode they kind of jump forward. The last 3 episodes they're saying is going to be an Avengers level type thing with them or something. That's what they said. Because at the end of the trailer, they did say this is our home and we have to keep it, and they hold their hand, and that's kind of I think the lead into the next episode where, they're doing the whole Avengers level type thing with Vision and Wanda.
Cool.
I just want to quickly see regarding Cyberpunk. If we just go back a second, Bossman, Phony Beatlemaniacs, is still downloading the game.
I can't believe that. I was about to comment. I can't believe you still downloaded it. 101 gigabyte.
That is
Oh,
amazing.
man. I feel for you. You're gonna install it, then you're gonna be like, "Oh, this game sucks," and then you're just gonna uninstall it, and that's that done. You know, God, you poor
Easy.
bastard.
So what else is on the Marvel shopping list?
So we never got much information on Thor: Love and Thunder, Secret Invasion, the series. Not much is known about that. You know, She-Hulk, not much is known about that. Miss Marvel, not much is known other than we know it ties into Captain Marvel.
There are like photos of
there's a couple of snippets and
sets.
clips, but it's just a teenage girl falling over some white dude, so it's standard.
Yeah.
We also one of the things I got very excited for with regards to Fantastic Four is that the Spider-Man guy is directing the Fantastic Four films, and that's
Perfect.
a great bloody choice.
Perfect.
Yeah, because I absolutely love those two Spider-Man films, so that's a great choice.
It's not just that, but I think when it comes to the New York-based superheroes, keep this director involved for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And that's pretty much it on Marvel stuff. Now we're going to move on to the Star Wars stuff that got dumped on us. And
Ginge, just quickly here, Boss Man saying,
go. Yeah.
I'm kind of burnt out as they keep messing it up. What do they keep messing up? Fantastic. Oh yeah, I think he means the Fantastic Four. Yeah, they fucked it up on two different occasions. 3 if you include the sequel of the first time round. So yeah, but this time we're getting the right people doing it. You know, to a degree that you could, you know, a lot of people like Tom Holland Spider-Man more than Tobey Maguire. I'm not fussed about what I like and these sort of things don't bother me too much about who's the better Spider-Man and all that sort of shit. But yeah, I mean, like third time's a charm. They fucked up enough that they've got to get it right.
Fourth time's a charm, mate.
Fourth time's a charm. Yeah, fantastic. Fourth time.
Do that shitty 90s film.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, let's be real. No one watched the Fan Force stick
nobody did.
Like the one that came out. Yeah, so it's like honestly, like the last Fantastic Four movie, people like at least outside of like big nerds like us, when they think of Fantastic Four, they probably think of the ones back in 2005 and 2007. So that's been over 10 years. Nobody even thinks about the Fan Force stick except for guys like us who were just totally pissed off that it sucked ass so bad.
Yeah.
But, I really feel like we're okay with the Fantastic Four. The X-Men are the ones that are like, we need some time.
Yeah. We need a gap. We need a gap from X-Men, and like I said, we've all agreed before that we're happy that they're keeping them in the distance. Let everything else brew in. Fantastic Four definitely needs to come in for sure within the next couple of years, because the palette of Fan Four stick is just completely forgotten about already. And the two Tim Story films were just utter garbage. And now is the right time to bring them in. So Reed Richards kind of takes the helm. Should Benedict Cumberbatch want to bow out as Doctor Strange as well? But I doubt it, because he's a workhorse and he'll fucking do anything,
As long as they keep paying, yeah.
Caleb, by the way, Caleb said 5 minutes into playing, I fell through the map and my save got corrupted. Went to GameStop and returned it. He's talking about Cyberpunk.
We might as well go back onto Cyberpunk. I mean,
we can go back on Cyberpunk. Yeah, I mean,
we get about an hour in, and then that's when everybody shows up. So let's. I mean, if you guys want to talk some more about Cyberpunk, I got to figure out what my family's doing for lunch. So you guys.
Well, the fact that this game had to be given a 46 gigabyte patch on day one, it's like that is unheard of. I mean, for me it is. I'm not sure about you guys.
Call of Duty style games do those kind of patches, but for everything else, so early on, it is unheard of. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I'm just so glad I wasn't on board this hype train, man. I mean, this is what it is. What happens when you're in your 40s? You're a bit more reserved. You've been bit and you've been hurt so many fucking times that this time around you're just gonna watch everyone else get fucked over and fucking laugh in their faces. You fucking cunts.
No, but you know what? No, that's the thing. You've hit on a point, and a lot of people younger don't see it from like our perspective. I don't mean to like belittle younger people. What I mean is, after so many years of being so entrenched in these kind of genres and following everything, you can predict what's going to happen, and so the cynicism is not unwarranted. You know, you can tell, like, when you've done enough gaming, when you've done enough of anything, you can see just by looking at something without the need to experience it what it's going to be like. And this is why there was no, like, the hype for that game died down, because you're looking at it as all the footage is coming in, you're like, eh. So Caleb, they should have waited, dropped PS4 and Xbox One releases, release it next year for next gen only. That would have caused a massive uproar in the community. I think a lot of people would have just not had it. And
uproar either way, Ginge.
huh?
We've seen it's an uproar either way, man, because they brought it out on this gen. And it's a fucking pile of shit. It looks like a PlayStation 3 game, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I mean, you're damned if you in this, and I don't, as I said, Cyberpunk I'm not up to date on, but like you're with gaming nowadays, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, because I mean, we as experienced gamers, and like we've been doing this for years. As Ginger said, we're not trying to belittle younger players, but it's just like we've seen this for so long that it's like it's hard for us to get excited, because we're just like, well, it's going to come out, it's going to be day one, it's going to be shit.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people from like 30 and younger, and again, this is not a belittling thing, they weren't around during the golden era of gaming, and I'm not talking about the 80s and 90s as the golden era of gaming. When I mean the golden era, I'm talking about when the Unreal 2 engine was released. That's between like the late, well, I think that came out around 2001, but between the late 90s and up until 2006, you had just this amazing era of gaming. And when you experienced that, and then everything moved into greedy monetization and bog standard gaming, our hearts just sunk. And now we're just so used to it that you could tell right off the bat if you're going to like a game or not. And that's the sad truth. That's where we are. And Cyberpunk is, that's what happened. But I mean, Jason's not wrong. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But those are the consequences. If you're going to build up hype around your product, you better damn well back it up.
Fellas, if you guys give us some likes as well, we're getting more, 1 or 2 more views nearly every show. So let's just make all our efforts worth it. That'd be much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, lots of likes, lots of comments.
Yes.
Speaking of Cyberpunk, I forgot to say, I did a video as a joke, literally as a joke, as a troll, just calling the game shit. All right. And it's just 10 seconds of me just going, boo, game sucks, clickbait. But the comment section, aside from the usual like abuse, which I fucking love, was actually filled with a lot of people that were disappointed with the game. I was shocked. I just did it as a joke because I knew the fever for this game will be. This was when the game, I think, just came out, or the day before it came out. But a lot of people had played it. They got early copies, or they changed their time zones to New Zealand so they could get it on the Wednesday rather than the Thursday on PC. Very clever, by the way. I must do that when I ever get back into PC gaming. And I was surprised how many people, 2 people had said that they were already got a refund on the game. Because
yeah, I've been hearing stories like that. That's why I wasn't surprised at all when Caleb said that he returned his game. You're not the first person to say that. This is not what, for me, like, I stopped buying into hype. I did the one game that got me in the hype magnet. That was obviously No Man's Sky, and that one bit me pretty hard. But I fell for it simply because like the developer who lied about everything before the game was released, Sean Murray, said you can do this, you can do that, you can, and it wasn't the case. He fucking straight out lied.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. But
that stung a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay. You like that much? I mean, I bought the hype because it seemed like this guy came across as a fucking genius. He seemed like he'd able to answer all our fucking prayers and giving us a space simulation game. Where you can land on planets and stuff like that, and you could do that, but it was basically a bigger sandbox. It's just like a universe. When I say universe-sized sandbox, I mean like you'd have 4 or 5 planets in this universe, and that's as fast as you can traverse. There'll be a sun. You could try to fly to the sun. You'll never get anywhere near the fucking sun. It's just a fucking big round ball in the sky. This
Yeah.
universe, and so when you wanted to go to the next solar system, whatever, you would then obviously warp drive there, which will open up a new giant generated universe with a few planets in there which you can fly to and shit. That's basically what it was. It was a very large procedurally generated sandbox. It was bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty much it on gaming. Unless anyone in the comments has anything to add, we can always come back to it anyway. It's not a problem.
Yes, no problem.
There are no rules. So we're now just going to quickly talk about the rest of the Disney dump, and that was with Star Wars. I'm just going to announce what they dumped and then get Zam's opinion. And the reason I'm going to Zam first for his opinion is because me and Cheeto already done streams on both Marvel and Star Wars. We have said our piece. We will reiterate a few things here like we did with the Marvel. But initially, I just want to get Zam's thoughts on these projects. I'm going to list them all, and then I'll go back, except for Obi-Wan Kenobi, because we've already discussed that in the past. I'm just going to list all the other stuff and just get your thoughts on it. So, obviously, we had Obi-Wan Kenobi. Actually, I might get your thoughts on that because there's
there is something regarding that. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. We also got Ahsoka, Lando, The Bad Batch, Andor, The Acolyte, A Droll Story, Rangers of the New Republic, Visions, and one that's not on my thing is Rogue Squadron. So, Zam, I might as well get your quick thoughts on Obi-Wan Kenobi, given Darth Vader was announced in this.
This is what I was worried about regarding this show, was that it wasn't going to be maybe his whole period on Tatooine, from the moment he lands to the moment he sees Luke, when he scares off the Tusken Raiders. That's what I wanted, but what we're getting is just him for a period of time, after like 10 years later, after he's been on Tatooine, and that's where we're starting. And that's not a good place to start because it's fucking 10 years of shit, that needs to be fucking answered for. And we're starting 10 years after that. No, I'm not happy about that at all. These are the cop-outs I hate in writing because they want to maybe make other stories and shit like that they could fill in the past and try and retcon it in and tie it in and stuff, which is why they're doing it here. They've got no fucking idea what they're doing. And it's worried me. It's worried me a little bit. People are clamoring for this fucking Obi-Wan film. And now as it's coming a bit closer and I'm finding out more developments about it, not happy with it. But we are finding out Hayden Christensen's going to be in it, reprising his role as Darth Vader. I don't understand why. But he is, I guess. And we might see some scenes of him, but him and Obi-Wan should never meet until they meet on the Death Star.
They might not meet.
And regarding Obi-Wan, I hope he doesn't. I've always said this, and this is fundamentally important. He has to be referred to Ben Kenobi throughout. He must not hear the name Obi-Wan at all, because then that moment when he goes Obi-Wan, well, there's a name I ain't heard a long time. It was me. You know what I mean? No. He has to be called Ben Kenobi throughout this whole fucking show, and not Obi-Wan once.
Yeah. Cheeto, you wanted to say something.
Yeah. Sorry, my son came in. Right. About the Obi-Wan, I heard, I watched a video on somebody talking about it, and they were talking about maybe there's like some Force shenanigans where like he's communing with Anakin, like he, through the Force, and Hayden Christensen is there rather than Darth Vader. I know. That was my only really thing that I've heard, and well, you know me, I'm not a big fan of the triad or whatever it was between Rey and Ren, and
yeah, that bollocks.
But you're a simpleton. You don't like any Jedi stuff, so shut it.
I want my blasters, baby.
Yeah. Just quickly, Phony Beatlemaniac says, could all this burn out Star Wars fans? No, that's impossible. No.
As long as it's not shit.
The films might burn Star Wars fans out, but the series, as long as they're watchable, they don't even have to be great. Look at Mandalorian. It's not great, and people fucking salivating over it. It's entertaining.
Mandalorian is straight up entertaining, which is what makes it work, and regardless of how people feel about whether episodes filler or not, as long as you get your kicks for 30 minutes or so, people are happy, are content with that, with a few Easter eggs here and there and callbacks like a seismic charge. Love it.
Yep, there you go, simpleton. I mean, I don't get the hate for him. The same with Ahmed Best. Both of them got shit. Yeah,
Oh,
well,
sorry.
yeah.
Jake Lloyd got more shit than Hayden Christensen, and what happened to Ahmed as well was a disgrace. I would want to see Jar Jar Binks back. I want to see him back. I have no problem with seeing him back. He's part of Star Wars, and we should embrace it now. You know, he's here. He's here to stay.
Jar Jar Binks, Misa here for the Mooey Mooey check.
Well, I mean, if it means more money for them, then yeah, fuck it, why not? I don't agree. I don't agree with the kind of hate that people get. I think don't attack an actor for doing a job. You know, if you want to slap a thumb up fucking up your work, fine. But an actor is just a guy that reads a script and needs to be directed. Well, the director was a fuckwit. So they're the ones that should. George Lucas is the one that should get all the abuse.
That Kelly girl, was it Kelly who or something like that? Was her name Kelly Tran? Kelly Tran, the amount of shit she got.
Yeah, that was
a disgrace.
That was ridiculous. Yeah, the one who played Rose.
Yeah, absolute disgrace. You know, the way they spoke. Yeah, totally like. Yeah.
No, that is the moment when I started hating Star Wars fans. And I mean, I'm one too. I like Star Wars, but it's like that would like those type of fans. I started to hate Star Wars fandom because it's just like, how can you do this to somebody? And I know we're kind of getting off topic, but it's like they're just Ginger's right. They're an actor doing a job. Who the heck are you sitting behind your keyboard thinking you can tell, say these kind of things to human beings?
Yeah. It's disgusting.
Yeah, too many actors have been getting this. Like I said, it happened to Jake Lloyd. It ruined him. It ruined his childhood. This guy's fucking, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. And
completely schizophrenic, bipolar now, the poor kid.
Well, and also, Tom Hardy. This happened with Star Trek Nemesis. Tom Hardy, because of that movie, got into alcoholism and drugs because he just couldn't take the backlash from the fandom. Like Trek is just.
I mean, that's Tom Hardy's excuse, but let's face it. When it comes to Tom Hardy, I'm pretty sure he was already one before that. There's old clips prior to that film of him just being a fuckwit. Has it got Caravan of Chaos? Well, the Ewok films, they were awesome, man. Rock on. I remember watching them as a kid and just thinking, "What the fuck is this?"
I think I liked them as a kid, but I don't think if I watch them now, I'll probably want to kill myself. What else did we got?
So we got the inevitable that we knew was coming. That was the Ahsoka spin-off.
Yeah.
No, let's move on. I've got nothing to say about that.
Okay. Cheeto, you've said what you need to say.
I mean, in the sense that we've spoken about it before. There's nothing new to add to this.
All right, shut up.
Lando.
Yeah, Lando Calrissian's getting a film.
Lando on Lando. Is
it a prequel?
I don't know.
Is it Billy D. Williams or is it Donald Glover?
We think it's both.
It's not both. I have no idea.
Is it animated?
No.
We don't know.
Okay, well, I thought you might know that.
No, with Star Wars, we've seen just a lot of logos. That's it.
Yeah,
like there's
a lot of logos.
This is so unnecessary. Like no one gives. This is like Solo but in series form. No one wants this.
It's diversity quota meeting. You've got to meet your diversity quota, isn't it?
No, that's what I'm saying.
I just know. I can see that, but at the same time, I just think of it as a lack of ideas. Like, just they don't. Like, what's still popular? Oh, Lando. Yeah, let's do something with him. Regarding
is that I like Donald Glover as Lando, but yeah, I think that this is one of those things where it's like you're stretching for me.
Yeah,
but that's what diversity. It feels like they're stretching for ideas, and one of you brought up something really great, how everything's connected to the Skywalkers. Even now, Mandalorian is now as well. And one of the best things about Mandalorian when it started, it didn't feel like it had anything to fucking do with that shit. Yes, obviously you got remnants of the Empire, but that affected everybody. You know what I mean? And then obviously they started making the universe a bit more smaller by bringing in all these characters who've had interactions with either Luke or Anakin Skywalker. So I'm sorry, I kind of lost my. Lando. So I'm just not happy. I'm just not happy with this. I'm just not happy with what they're doing. This is not what I want, and I'll watch it. I guess I hope it's okay, but I don't feel like there's anything to come from it. Like, what will this offer that's going to make it fun to watch. I just don't know. Like Lando, is he going to be like James Bond in space? That what's he going to be? More like
sexual exploration of space, of him just fucking things, then yeah, I'm up for that.
I was about to say, me and Ginger talked about this. We said it should be young Billy D, or it shouldn't be young Billy D. It should be Donald Glover's Lando and Billy D. Williams' Lando in like this trippy, like meditative state, talking to each other, and it should be called Lando on Lando, conquesting the universe. And they talk about all of their conquests throughout the universe.
All the sexual conquests of the universe. That's what we want to see. Then we got the Bad Batch, which is basically
animated
Clone Wars
spin-off.
Blah blah takes place just after Order 66 has been executed and the Empire has risen. Blah blah.
Indeed.
I don't really give a shit about this, Sam.
I'm wondering, does the implants do they still have the 66 implants in their brains to trigger them so that they go that they kill all the Jedis? Does that work on them or does it not work on them?
I think because of the Bad Batch, they don't. I think, but I could be wrong on that.
But they're all affected differently. Like one of them, his defect was becoming extremely intelligent as well as being a good fighter. Another one's defect was to become a great sniper. That was the only one who had like a significant defect was the big guy because he came across as a bit stupid. But he made up for that for being the big guy. You know what I mean? So and then you had the Rambo dude as well. Like they never really came across as people with defects other than the big guy to a degree. Yeah. And even then, so it was weird. So anyway.
All right. Then we got the series of Cassian Andor.
Don't give a shit about this. This is something I don't want, don't need, don't care. I hope it's good. Sorry. Go on.
Oh, no. This is the Zam show right now. I thought you were going to.
No, I'm just saying I hope this show is good. But, like, who gives a fuck about Cassian Andor, man?
And that's really my only problem with this. I like the premise of this show. I don't like the fact that it focuses on Cassian because Cassian's, I mean, we already see where he's going in Rogue One. If we went where like we saw like even I know it's stupid, but like even if it was his brother or something, like
somebody else, a whole different character where we don't know what's going to happen to them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it leaves it's mysterious. Like we don't know what's going to happen with Mandalorian. He's a brand new character. We're following him. We're fucking loving him. We could have somebody like this in the Rebels as well. We can follow them. We can love them. But we don't need to know their fucking future like we know with Cassian Andor. And that's what pisses me off. This seems so irrelevant. This feels like we're just going to a destination we already know. And I want something else. Everything feels. Same with the Lando shit. Eventually, it's going to end up going to a particular destination. Would it be Cloud City? He buys that, or whatever. And yeah, this is why I'm not liking these ideas at the moment. Not liking some of them.
Yeah. Next, we got the Acolyte, which is like this kind of weird. It's like a mystery. I forgot what it was.
Like the Sith.
It kind of explores like the hidden powers of the Sith or something.
And it's like at the end of the latter end of the High Republic, which I'm still iffy on the eras and stuff.
Yeah.
High Republic's 500 years ago.
500 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been a big fan of the like Star Wars books, which were focused more on the Sith. They were my favorite ones. The darkness of it, they were almost like evil sorcerers to a degree, especially in the Old Republic era. And High Republic theoretically is still the old fucking Republic, just a different period of it. And it'd be good to see some more Sith. I've always wanted to see shows focused on them.
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm actually interested in this one a lot.
But whether it be any good and whether they'll be able to pull the punches, because we know, not pull their punches, because Disney love to pull their punches. We can't show someone being cut in half, so we'll show a bell getting cut in half, which will cover their body being cut in half, and stuff like that. And you can only pull those tropes for so long before they become cliched as fuck. And sometimes, you know what, Disney? You need to bite your fucking tongue. Stop pretending you're kid friendly when you like to fucking. You already got shit on you already own property now, which shows fucking mass genocide, for fuck's sake. Just fucking have these Sith be evil and kill people, for fuck's sake, in various ways.
Yeah, I mean,
and also they announced, I think, is it called Stars or something like the Disney Plus, like that's going to be 18 plus or something like that.
Yeah, Disney Stars, I think it was called, or something like
Yeah,
that.
so I mean, I think we're going to hear a lot more about stuff that, and I don't know if Star Wars or Marvel. Sorry. Ooh. I don't think Star Wars and Marvel will go. I mean, although Marvel, I feel, needs to go this route with some of their stuff. Obviously,
Yeah.
Deadpool, Moon Knight, Punisher. But I don't know if Star Wars is going to go down this route with some of their stuff, which I wish they would.
It definitely won't.
Yeah.
They haven't got the balls to do it because they're stupid. Which will bring me on to my whole thoughts on this in a second. Then we've got a droid story.
To give it to just take it.
Is it about
C3PO
3PO?
and R2?
I guess it's between. I guess it's between 3 and 4. Yeah,
probably. Do you remember the old 80s cartoon?
Yeah, I did. I remember back at BBC One. Yeah, I used to love that shit, and you followed their lives before they met Luke and stuff like that. And that was like some of the first like lore expansion of Star Wars back then. You know,
that's right. It was.
You know, obviously it's no longer canon anymore. But I mean, is it? I think it's going to be basically like almost like the littlest hobo. Like they keep getting like they always get attached to somebody, and these people are doing adventures, and they just happen to be there. That's how it's going to be, I think. You know what I mean? They're always around the shit, but not in the shit. Around the ship, but not involved with the ship. Maybe now and again, but both C3PO and R2D2 do get involved in shit as well. But I just think it's just this. They're doing what what George Lucas pulled out from the Kurosawa films, like having a couple of peasants there who just are surrounded by all this craziness, and you think it from their perspective.
Animated as well, so I think it's just going to be for kids.
Is it cartoon animated?
Yeah,
oh fuck! I'm not interested. Not interested now.
And well, but we talked about this a little bit on me and Ginger stream. Is that I'm okay with them doing kid-centered stuff as long as it's blatant. Like this is for kids. Like so, yeah. Like us three, we won't watch it. But if it's geared towards kids and they make it apparent that it's geared towards kids, I'm okay with it. I'm not going to watch it, but I'm glad that they're getting something.
Yeah, like Forces of Destiny was kind of just geared towards like the female kiddie market. It's fine.
I just hope that we have something on for us outside of, like if this is good, like if this show is on Droids, Mando season 4 will be on at the same time, like something for the adults as well, because if you're going to do something that's blatantly geared towards the kids, you still need to do something blatantly geared towards the adults, like the Mandalorian or one of these other series that they've announced. I
just don't want to be treated like a kid. Like, like we watch these shows because we like the fucking gore and the fucking violence and stuff like that. Give it to us. Don't censor it. You know what I mean? Show me. I'm dying for another. I'm dying for another decapitation. I want to see one. Man. I'm dying for one. We only had a couple. Like we've had Count Dooku and fucking Jango Fett. I can't think of any others. Yeah.
Well, there's been none in the Disney bloody era, that's for sure.
Yeah, I want to see someone get his head chopped off.
Yeah, okay. Next, we have Rangers of the New Republic, which is another spin-off from The Mandalorian, which I think it's going to have Cara Dune and those kind of pilots that we saw from the New Republic show up in The Mandalorian, as well as others. And this, obviously, this takes place... This is parallel to The Mandalorian with Ahsoka, Mandalorian, and Rangers of the New Republic building up to some big event, aka like the Arrowverse type stuff. Zam, thoughts?
I'm already feel like I'm drowning in so much shit now. This is what ruined the Arrowverse, was that they gave us too much. Yeah. The only good thing is that they're not like 23 episode seasons, which is way too fucking much when you think about it. Yeah. But as we start getting into more shows now and how they're all connected to everything else, I just don't want to be drowned in too much. Spread it out. They don't have to all come simultaneously like the Arrowverse shows were. Like you had to watch one show on Monday, then one show on Tuesday, one show on Wednesday. I couldn't fucking handle that shit. It was way too much.
And I think that's what the difference is that we're not going to have more than like 2 shows of one. I don't know. Not era. What's the word I'm looking for? Like we're not going to have
season
2 of Marvel and 2 of Star Wars running at this, at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like they could.
One second. Onto the comments. So Phony Beatlemaniac says more of Katie Sackhoff. I'm behind that, and I want more Gina Carano. She's gorgeous and tough. Well, the Katie Sackhoff thing is going to be interesting because will she pop up in the Ahsoka Rangers of the New Republic, or will they become more what's the fucking word I'm looking for? More regular in Mandalorian season 3. So we know they're going to be.
Cara and Bo-Katan haven't met each other.
No, they're both going to be in Rangers of the New Republic.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, regarding Rangers, like you think they'll come across things like the First Order and the early reminiscences of it and stuff like that. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of First Order world building in a lot of these series
Definitely.
for sure. Definitely.
It
needs it, and it needs it, man, because that was always my problem with Force Awakens. Like, what the fuck happened for 40 years? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The good guys won. Yeah,
the biggest problem with that trilogy was it had to have another big empire in there. It's like, what could it didn't need to be. It could have just been smaller scale with a looming big threat.
Yeah, I was about to say, I really feel like they shouldn't have brought the First Order in the first movie. It should have been either at the end of the second or, maybe at the beginning of the second if you're pushing it. But yeah, like I feel like the looming threat and then like having the First Order come in like at the end of the second movie would have been better.
Yeah, it didn't even need like another empire though. It just didn't need them. It could have been a more personal kind of journey. Surrounding the original people that we all wanted to see and we never got to see together. Yeah.
And on top of that, like, with the prequels being so different to the original trilogy, I think Disney thought to themselves, okay, let's just give people what they want. And they didn't realize that we've already seen that. What we want is Star Wars. Doesn't mean you have to fucking give us a remake of fucking A New Hope, which is what Force Awakens was. Anyways.
What about more Tim Oliphant playing the gunslinger?
Hell yeah.
I'm sure he'll pop up again, but I'll be honest with you, I could take it or leave it. I don't give a shit.
Do you think he'll be in the final episode?
No.
So we got Fish. So we got him in the first one. In episode 1. I think he'll be possibly in the final episode. We got Fish Lady in episode 2, possibly her. We got Bo-Katan in episode 3, and Thingy's Ginger's favorite, Sasha Banks, them as well. Ahsoka Tano episode. So we got Grief Karga and Cara Dune episode 4. They'll probably be part of it. Ahsoka Tano 5. Episode 6, we got Boba Fett. Episode 7, we got Mayfeld. The whole fucking gang's here, baby.
Mayfeld will be in the last episode.
People are going to be there. It'll be Bo-Katan maybe with her lot, but
Fish Lady, you get 100 to 1 on her being on the final episode.
Fish Lady's not coming. Or Echo Lady is not coming back.
I can see it like sticking her tongue out. Grabbing the guns and eating them like fucking Yoshi from fucking Super Mario.
I think that
that's probably a good thing, Beatlemaniacs, because the one line of dialogue she delivered, it was bloody wooden, terrible. Her expression was terrible.
She looked like she was acting.
Gorgeous. That's for me. She just.
Ginger prefers her that way.
Huh?
Ginger prefers her that way, just not saying much.
Don't say much.
She she didn't do herself any favors regarding her film career with the way she performed in episode 3. I mean, she was forgettable.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
But that's where you gotta kind of start. I mean, like not everyone can be The Rock.
I have a real problem with I have a real problem when there's a group of people and only one person in that group talks. Like everybody else is just silent. Just they're nothing. You might get the odd word, and that's it. Like we got with Sasha Banks, she said a few lines, and that was it. We never heard from her again because she had a helmet on. We never saw her fucking mouth open up and shit when we saw her speak. It was bollocks. I hate shit like that. Very cliched. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also we got the Rogue Squadron, Patty Jenkins of Wonder Woman.
No, that's a better director.
Is going to be directing this, so.
So Gal Gadot's going to be in it, and she's going to be a pilot, and she's going to be leader of Rogue Squadron.
Slave Gal Gadot.
Oh, and then she's going to realize, oh shit, there's my arch nemesis, the Mandalorian. He looks like what's his face from my sequel.
Mandalorian's going to show up in Rogue One. And...
Good God.
No, what period is this set in?
Of course,
I
she
don't
looks hot in Beatlemania. She always looks hot in Rogue Squadron. No idea. You can
Interesting.
guarantee it's
I
going to be.
think I heard, and I might be wrong on this. I thought I heard it was after A New Hope. Like it takes place like after the Death Star's blown up, and they're rebuilding Rogue Squadron, or they're starting Rogue Squadron after that, and like because Luke was a part of Rogue Squadron. I don't know. They were talking about something, and I was half paying attention. But it was maybe it was more of a theory than anything else. But I think it was between A New Hope and Empire.
I just feel like sometimes, like like everything being mentioned to me so far, apart from maybe the Visions one or the Acolytes one, just feels a bit too closely knit.
Yeah. So
there's way too much going on in the same eras. It's like that's why
everything bar the Acolyte is happening. Visions could be any era because it's just animated stuff, but everything else is happening within the Skywalker saga, and this is what infuriates me about Disney. This constant need to stick around this goddamn saga. Have the balls to go way into the past or way into the future and just do something different. We don't fucking need everything to be stuck around here. You're destroying canon. You're destroying everything about this era. You're destroying it.
Yeah, Luke's supposed to be the last Jedi, and then we find that there's shitloads more, alive at this moment because of all the other shit they've been bringing out. They've, every time I hear Yoda say that, last of the Jedi's you'll be or whatever.
Except it's just Grogu.
But we got more now. We got Grogu, we got Ahsoka. Even though she doesn't call herself a Jedi, she's not bad. She's not an evil person. She's more Jedi than probably Jedis are. And we still got Cal and his trainer. We got Ezra Miller. There's so many fucking Jedis out there.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Ridiculous. It's George Lucas's fault because he wrote himself into a corner. And he wrote every expansion into a corner where they're just like, oh, you know what? Fuck this. No, there's loads of us. We're just hiding, kind of thing. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with breaking some of the stupid shit that George Lucas put in place, like the rule of two, and only being fucking 2 or 1 Jedi at a time, and all this kind of shit. And one of the few things I kind of liked about Rian Johnson's stuff was more saying, look. It's the Force is just out there, and it could fucking go like with anything and anyone and all this kind of shit. And then you see Broom Kid and all this kind of stuff, and it's like that makes more fucking sense. And just trying to keep everything confined within like these dickheads. Yeah.
Oh, I just was gonna say because that's how it technically was before the prequels. Because like you had kids that just had power, like they just when they were Force sensitive, we can say midichlorians, but let's not. When they were proven to be Force sensitive, I mean, there should be people around that just have Force powers. Like I get it, there's no Jedi Council, so there's no way to pull them together, but there's definitely people that when they realize they have these powers, they're going to use them with everyday life, like the Broom Kid. I mean,
you have to have a fucking lightsaber in their hand.
Yeah.
They're empowered with the Force.
And just like every person with a lightsaber doesn't have to have Force powers.
Yeah, they could just be a skilled fighter with a fucking tool.
Like that Mandalorian was with the Darksaber in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, he put up a good fight with Darth Maul before Darth Maul killed him.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So that's everything on Star Wars. I wasn't too particularly blown away. Only
Likewise.
the Visions and Patty Jenkins doing a film.
Nothing about them. These are all series. There's no films.
Now, Rogue Squadron's going to be a film, and
Rogue Squadron, and I think Lando is a film.
Oh, Lando's
a film
series. Oh yeah.
Oh,
so.
Even then, like, come on, man. Like, it's so. This is like, for fuck's sake, this is very deflating. I love Star Wars. Why am I not excited about any of this shit?
The Skywalker era. That's why we're not excited about it. And it's fucking crap that we don't fucking care about.
Enough stuff has been filled in between certain eras that we don't need to find more filling in. And they're giving us these,
over Republic, like the game Old Republic, everyone was just blowing up. Everyone blowing up.
Ginger, 5 millennia. 5 millennia of time.
Lando is a series.
Sorry, my bad.
I think isn't Rangers of the Old Republic or New Republic or whatever it was called, isn't that a movie though, or is that a series?
That's a series. Rogue Squadron is a film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the best, most exciting list of products they're bringing out, considering, we know what there is in this universe, and they're not dabbing into that. It's weak. It's really weak.
Centric as well. It's like, explore the aliens. Give us a lot of aliens. I'm sick and tired of seeing humans. What? Just because you got to stick a chick, a black guy, a Mexican in there? Just like, fuck all these people. Just give me Twi'leks and donkeys and Wampers fucking, and
we got like a version of Boba Fett with the Mandalorian. They can give us like a Han Solo type series about a smuggler who's dealing with all these different syndicates. We can see the Black Sun and all these other syndicates as well. Just more of the seedy underworld. That would be a great way of having a series.
Adult stuff.
Give us. I mean, when this new like Disney, this Stars thing comes out, like give us something like with nudity and like stuff that as I said, they'll never do it, but it's like swearing and nudity and blood and torture and all these things that like
you couldn't hear the F word. F word in Star Wars wouldn't work in my opinion. Dank Ferrick. They need to come.
You don't need it. Like. Listen, I'm never one to say no for swearing and all that, but in that universe, you can swear in their own way. You can just, banter voodoo and all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So swearing,
kind of a bitch, fuck, motherfucker, and all this. It's like, oh, really? They say all that in that universe as well. I know speaking English is also like, but we don't want to fucking subtitle it, obviously. But I just want to see more aliens. Like, I'm just fed up with seeing humans. They have the technology, so,
Exactly.
Just treat it like the humans are the fucking bad people that go wreck everything. Like,
we have a show about being in the Imperials. With a show which we're focusing on certain characters who work for the Imperials, whether it be an officer or a stormtrooper, whatever. We could have a show. Yeah.
Or if you want to check out our upcoming fan film called our fan film reaction on Bad Pilots. We get to see Imperial pilots at work and what their normal day looks like in a comedic form.
That's right. Okay. I think that's about it. No point really going more into Mando and Star Trek. I think we've gone on.
I'm done. I'm done with that.
Yeah, join us tomorrow where we will be watching the most anticipated film of the year. That is, of course, A Recipe for Seduction, with Mario Lopez, aka AC Slater from Saved by the Bell, as Colonel Sanders caught up in a love triangle, and all this to get his secret recipe.
You see Colonel Sanders' guns? My God, man! His fucking guns, man! Jesus, look at it. He's been lifting, man. Been more than drumsticks.
And the chickens. So we'll be reacting to that. Hopefully it all goes well and we find it. I'm hoping it's on YouTube because Lifetime has a channel on there. So I'm hoping they just dump it on YouTube and we'll be doing a reaction to that. So thank you to my co-hosts, Zam and Cheeto. And join us tomorrow for Recipe for Seduction.
Thank you everyone in the chat who participated.
Thank you everyone who participated in the chat.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us.
Yeah, that's what this weekend thing is for. We want to talk with you guys, and we want all your opinions. Sorry, I didn't mean to mess up the exit tro.
Yeah, so when we next do a stream, and you've got other friends who like this shit, share it with them as well, so they can also join in the chat. This is our community. Make it together. Be part of it.
Tomorrow, mate. Join us.
Yeah, we want all this. That's what this show is for. Is us? We just BS back and forth, but we want you guys involved. We want to hear everything.
Yeah, join us on the stream, Gary. You've got a camera. You've been on here before. If you want to react to the film with us, you're more than welcome, mate.
Yeah, just reach out to whichever one of these losers, or I can't remember which one.
He knows us both.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he knows us both.
All right, sorry, I didn't mean to
All
mess
right.
up the outro.
Bye.